A question that men rarely ask early enough is whether a woman eventually becomes a copy of her worst friend. The uncomfortable truth is that she does. Not immediately, not openly, and not consciously, but inevitably. A man who starts a relationship without carefully observing the most unstable, promiscuous, or hysterical woman in his partner's circle is not being generous or trusting. He is being blind. When a man chooses a woman, he must first study her most chaotic friend. Not the calm one, not the polite one. The loudest, most reckless, most shameless one. That woman is not an exception. She is the direction. Whatever she represents today is what the rest of the group slowly moves toward tomorrow. There is a biological explanation for this. Studies have shown that women have significantly higher activity in mirror neurons than men. The female brain is highly adaptive. It absorbs behavior, habits, emotional reactions, and worldview from the surrounding environment. This is why women integrate into new social groups faster than men. And this is also why prolonged exposure reshapes them. A woman does not simply talk with her friends. She synchronizes with them. A man can associate with criminals and remain law-abiding. A woman cannot separate herself from the moral and behavioral tone of her environment. She mirrors it. If her friend treats reckless sex as entertainment, your woman slowly stops perceiving it as something disgusting. If that friend describes her encounters in detail, your woman does not merely listen. Her mind replays the scenario. She experiences it internally. Even if she verbally condemns it, the mental rehearsal has already happened. When a woman says, "She did something crazy again," it often translates to, "I'm curious, but I'm still holding back." Friends awaken fantasies a woman may not have had the courage to imagine on her own. In most female groups, the most aggressive and shameless woman sets the tone. She defines what is acceptable, exciting, and justified. When your partner interacts with such a woman, this is not an exchange of stories. It is a psychological software update. Ideas are transmitted casually. For example, the idea that cheating is justified if a man gives too little attention. The first time your woman hears it, she may feel disgust. The second time, indifference. The third time, curiosity. And eventually, permission. This is why the saying, "Tell me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are," works differently for women. A more accurate version would be, "Show me her friends and I'll tell you who she will become." If your woman sits with friends who openly discuss lovers, bodies, and experiences, she cannot remain silent. Silence isolates her. Participation becomes the price of belonging, and this is where a man's dignity begins to erode quietly. A woman who would never initiate such conversations will still nod, laugh, ask questions. Not because she agrees, but because she wants to remain part of the group. Over time, participation becomes normalization. Marriage does not protect against this influence. In many cases, it intensifies it. A married woman surrounded by single or promiscuous friends constantly hears about restaurants, trips, gifts, admirers, and novelty. Against this background, her routine begins to feel like a prison. The single friend may smile, give gifts to children, and appear supportive, but beneath the surface, there is resentment. A stable family reminds her of what she lacks. Consciously or not, she undermines it. When a married woman talks about children or home, the single friend feels discomfort. She responds by elevating her own experiences: luxury, travel, attention. Comparison poisons satisfaction. Slowly, the family stops feeling like an achievement and starts feeling like confinement. Domestic life becomes framed as slavery. Responsibility becomes oppression. Ordinary meals turn into symbols of captivity, while exaggerated stories of freedom become ideals. The danger increases when these stories are embellished. Generosity is exaggerated. Status is inflated. The reality, often transactional and degrading, is hidden. The married woman begins to believe she deserves more simply by comparison. Once admiration turns into envy, decay has already begun. The moment a woman starts comparing her life to a reckless friend's life, the family is already in danger. No woman returns from an evening with friends feeling more loving, humble, or peaceful. She returns inflated, restless, and emotionally charged. Her voice changes. Her gaze changes. Her reactions feel unfamiliar. This is not coincidence. Female friendships often function as echo chambers of validation. Flattery replaces honesty. Reality is suspended. Even obvious flaws are reframed as virtues. The goal is not truth, but emotional elevation. If men interacted this way, they would lose contact with reality within months. Male friendships work differently. They are harsh, mocking, and corrective. Men keep each other grounded through ridicule, not praise. Female friendships protect ego at all costs. Truth is seen as aggression, correction as betrayal. A woman who speaks honestly risks exclusion. As a result, the only person who speaks unpleasant truth is often the husband. That makes him the enemy, not because he is wrong, but because he breaks the illusion. Women choose advisors the same way men do. They go to the person who will confirm what they already want to do. The choice of whom to consult reveals the decision already made. A woman surrounded only by destructive influences will eventually adopt destructive behavior. Environment always wins. The most dangerous friend is often the married one with a submissive husband. She reframes dominance as abuse and submission as weakness. She teaches other women to leash their men. In female groups, the least giving woman often gains the most authority. The one who contributes nothing is admired. The one who gives is pitied. Care is reframed as weakness, love as servitude. This reveals something important. A woman who cannot give love despises those who can. Their existence exposes her inadequacy. To protect her ego, she devalues what she lacks. That is why nurturing women are mocked and parasitic women are celebrated. It is a defense mechanism. Truth in female friendship is not considered help. It is considered violence. That is why honesty destroys friendships, while lies preserve them. A woman who returns from friends full of flattering illusions begins to see her partner as an enemy, because he is the only one who speaks reality. The solution is not confrontation. It is environment control. A man must ensure that his woman is exposed to healthy examples of relationships. Women calibrate normal through observation, not theory. Surrounding her with couples where respect, responsibility, and order exist reshapes her expectations naturally. Degenerative behavior becomes shameful. Healthy behavior becomes the norm. This must be subtle. Direct comparison creates resistance. Observation creates adaptation. A man who ignores this places his relationship at the mercy of chance. A man who understands it takes responsibility for the environment his relationship exists in. This is not control. It is leadership. Every man must learn this lesson early. A woman's friends shape her future more reliably than her promises. Ignore them and you gamble blindly. Observe them and you see the road ahead. This awareness does not guarantee success, but without it, failure is only a matter of time.